Confident. I'm a risk taker. Positive.
Alante Harrison, also known as Big Play Tay. He was the Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Week for the first 2 weeks of the season. With 6 interceptions in the team's first 4 games, he leads the entire NCAA.
Yeah, sometimes you can see the play unraveling before it even happening, but most of the time it's just you playing within the scheme of the defense and just getting your reads based off of film that you watch.
Brown is one of the greatest basketball players ever to play in a Towson uniform, but he didn't just walk onto the campus at Towson University. The former Atlantic 10 Freshman of the Year was kicked out of LaSalle the summer of 2004 after his sophomore year for being accused of rape. He was facing up to 20 years in prison, and after a back-and-forth trial, he was acquitted of all charges early October of 2005. It was then that Neal made his debut on the basketball courts at Towson. He played in 16 games this past year, including in his first game against VMI, making 5 of his first 5 shots, finishing the game with over 30 points. He averaged 27.1 points per game this year, which was 3rd in the nation behind J.J. Redick and Adam Morrison. In his 8 weeks with the Tigers, he was named CAA Player of the Week in 3 of them. He shot 41% from beyond the three-point line, including making 62 shots on the year. He also helped lift the Tigers to a 12-16 record after being 5-23 the previous season. No doubt Neal has learned a lot from his mistakes over the past few years, and he has become a better person because of it. Moore is a nightmare for opposing offenses. In only 10 games this year, he's eclipsed 96 tackles, 4 sacks, and 2 interceptions, making him a force on the field. All it took was one split second of one play to have junior defensive lineman Richard Lee facing the possibility of ending his football playing career.
I remember like it was yesterday. We was running what we call a Thunder, Bronco Thunder, which is our 4-4 front to stop the run. And I was lined up in a one technique, shooting the A-gap, shot the gap, and the running back was coming to the opposite A-gap to run through. Got through, wrapped him up, and as I was coming to the ground, my corner came off the edge, and he would try to hit the guy too, hit me right on top of my head.
And I actually saw it happen, and I was, watching him, hoping his legs would move. He was kind of still for a little bit.
And what it did was it compressed my spine, and it popped my disc out. And my disc protruded into my spinal cord, and it cut off my the spinal fluid and stuff like that.
Lee even remembers exactly how the conversation went when he first met with the doctor for an MRI.
Basically, he just was like, you see this done. I mean, he really didn't sugarcoat it, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I didn't want him to sugarcoat it, but honestly, it almost brought a tear to my eye, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like this is something I've been doing for 10 years plus, and he just up and told me, all right, your season's pretty much done. I was just going into the office just to get a check, get a little MRI,
Here you are, the freshman of the year, now you're facing up to almost 20 years in prison. How did you get through something like that mentally? I mean, I know it had to have been wearing on you.
To be honest with you, it's basically my upbringing, that got me through that for the most part. My mother and my father, they raised, me and my brothers in the church. So basically, I looked at it as a situation, as something I have to get through. God is not going to put something in front of me that I can't handle. So I'm just going to have to do the best that I can do with it. I continue to work out, every day. That helped, to keep my mind off the situation. I watched a lot of basketball, and I just lived in the gym basically to get better, because I knew, that the day would come where I would have my second chance to play, and I just continued to work.
Okay, now, what went through your mind as you were sitting at the trial and they said you were acquitted and the charges were all done, and did you kind of get that feeling like, wow, it's over, or what was your mentality there?
I never really got the feeling like, wow, it's over, because it's something that's going to stick with me forever, because it's just attached to my name. So when the situation was done and they said that I was acquitted, it was basically like, I felt good. I looked at it as an opportunity to continue to be just a regular college student again, and to continue my basketball career. And that's basically what I was looking forward to when I walked out of the courtroom.
All right, now so far everything I've read about you and how things have gone for you for your entire life, it seems as though everywhere I've read says that you're a completely different person now than you were then. Would you agree with that? And what do you think has changed?
I just think that for the most part, those 2 years that I was away from basketball, and 2 years I was really out of the public eye and out of the college life and the college scene, I just matured as a man. I went from a 19-year-old teenager that was kind of relatively immature to a 21-year-old man. So basically, the time off, it really helped me develop into a man.
There you go. All right, well, we've got to take a quick commercial break, but when we get back, I'll find out why Gary Neal chose Towson after leaving LaSalle. Don't go anywhere. I'm about to heat things up.
Senior quarterback Sean Schaefer and senior wide receiver Marcus Lee have combined for one of the deadliest combinations in Towson University history. Schaefer has already set records for the most passes completed and the most yards passing in a single career, while Lee is just one catch away from breaking the all-time receiving record here at Towson. The two players came to the university together, redshirted, and then proceeded to start all 4 years together. However, it wasn't exactly love at first sight when these two players first met.
Honest to God, I thought it was a douchebag. I mean, I was quiet as a freshman, and he would talk to the older guys. So I would see the way he would interact with them, and just kind of caught a glimpse of his personality. I didn't really like it though. So
my first impression, I don't really judge people. I guess Marcus Lee does though. But I didn't really have any opinion. Besides, I thought the first thing I thought was he had great hands. I could see a lot of the other guys were talking about this kid. He's gonna be really good. You could just tell he was one of those guys that would just go up and get the ball no matter what we were doing. It was just any drills that we were doing. Man, it's this kid's got great hands. And then he said coming into in the summer after our freshman year, we really started hanging out and becoming
Now, as the old saying goes, when a player plays with emotion, he plays with it on his sleeve. But Alante does it a little bit different. He plays with his emotions on his wrist.
Well, I have 4. One says player, 2 of them says baller, and the last one says respect. It's the thing that go back to high school. I didn't feel as though I got enough respect for the things that I accomplished there, and I didn't think I got enough recognition that I should have gotten. So, I wear this band on me just to remind people that, and remind myself that I'm gonna make others respect me. If they're not gonna give it to me, I'm gonna take it.